Hi, this is Matt at Brantley Guitars, and today I'm working on some hardware for the Bourbon. As you can see from the reflection, and you can see the overhead door here in the shop, that buffing's complete, got a nice gloss on it, and now it's time to put the bridge studs into the body. The bridge studs will hold the bridge posts, and they're a press fit, and in order to get a good fit here to make sure there's no rattle and no movement in the bridge, because this is going to be under a lot of tension. The hole that they fit into is drilled to a pretty close approximation of the diameter of the studs, and you can see the studs have ribs on them here. So the tricky part is these holes have been open during all of the spraying process and the buffing process, because we want the lacquer all the way up to the studs to be just like on the rest of the guitar. So the problem is that during all the spraying and all the curing, the lacquer that sat around the holes for the studs and actually closed up that hole a little bit, it's now cured just like it was on the top of the guitar so that I could buff it. So in order to loosen up that lacquer enough to allow me to push these bridge studs in, I have to use my soldering iron. And the trick here is to heat up the studs with the soldering iron, which will in turn warm the lacquer enough for it to get soft and melt a little bit, so that when I press the studs into the body, the lacquer around it won't crack. Also, you can see that I have this wire. This actually runs up through the bottom of this hole for the bridge stud, and what it is a ground wire, and we have to make sure that's in place so that the whole circuit from the pickups, which you can see the pickups here, that's the rear pickup and the front pickup, gold tone. We want the whole circuit from the pickups to the output jack to also connect to the strings, so when a player puts their hand either resting on the bridge or touching the strings, that there won't be any hum induced by touching the strings. So I've run the ground wire in there, and I'm pressing this bushing in, and you know, the operation happens so quick from the time that I heat this up and I can see that the lacquer is getting soft. I have to take it over to my press in order to get enough force to press these ridges on the studs into the hard maple core down the middle of the guitar. So can't show you that. I just don't have enough hands to swing around the camera and also perform the operation here, but I'll go ahead and do a follow-up. Okay, so I'm heating up the stud now, and you can see the lacquer starting to get soft, so I'm going to quickly bring it over to my press, apply a little pressure, get it to move a little bit, and it gives me some resistance as it cools down. So at that point I'm going to stop, and I'll go ahead and heat it back up and repeat this process until I can get both of the studs fully seated. That's it. If there's any questions, please let me know.